think we've been here before.
Hello there guys, Billabo10000 here, bringing you episode 5 of 999 The Nonary Games, and as Junpei has just stated, I think we've been here before. We're on the other side of the grates. A metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were 2 elevators and the entrance to the kitchen.
The elevators are over there, so that means...
We went into the kitchen through that door and came out on this side.
So now we're on the right side we need to be on.
That means the map was right.
Yep.
Looks like.
Then let's use it to plan our next move.
Next move?
We gotta keep moving.
Yeah, we need to decide where to go from here, don't we?
He's right. Let's get started.
Alright, where are we gonna be heading this time though?
From the looks of it, there are 4 possible routes.
Okay.
Let's just keep it simple and call them A, B, C, and D.
Well, C seems like it's actually going in the direction back towards where the other group were. D, it seems like there's a grate there. B and A seem to lead into the same room.
First, A and B.
They both seem to connect to a room that looks L-shaped.
Yep.
Yeah, there were 2 doors.
One there.
But they were both locked. We couldn't open them.
Oh.
Now, route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase.
Yeah, back where we were before.
That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors.
Then do you think we would meet up with the other 4 after this hallway?
Essentially, I feel like that's what should have happened.
No, I don't think we will.
Why not?
Look, there by the stairs. See how the gate is opened? When we went into the kitchen, it was closed.
Oh, so maybe the other group came in and opened the gate.
But it's open now. What do you think that means?
It's gotta be the other group.
They opened it.
Most likely.
And if we take route C, we're going backwards.
So we want to take the route down the stairs and see if we can find the other guys.
That would be pointless.
Then that means...
Route D. All 4 looked at the map. They all looked at the staircase, its lazy curve leading down deeper into the ship.
Route D, then.
D it is.
Here we go.
Yup, Route D.
Then we're set.
Let's go. They jogged down the stairs until they reached the C deck.
Everything looks okay here.
Let's check the next deck just to be sure.
Flooded.
Yeah, just like I thought. D deck is totally underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
So, at least it's consistent. The water flow is 100% consistent. The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror.
At least the water level hasn't really changed.
Yeah.
Small comfort.
May as well head back to C deck.
Yep.
What else is here?
There are 2 elevators over there at the top of the stairs.
Probably locked as
Just
well.
like the floor above.
Hold on. These are kind of different. See? There's a card reader on the side.
So we need to find a card for the elevator?
Another strange mark.
I wonder what symbol that is. I'm gonna have a guess, is it Venus?
Hey, look! It's Lotus's symbol.
Huh?
See? It's the woman symbol with horns on it.
Ha!
That seems like... Oh, ouch, 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 ouch.
Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. You don't mess with Lotus. She began to shake him violently, and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat.
What was that about the mark again?
Nothing.
Such violence. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up.
This is a Mercury symbol.
God damn it.
The horns symbolize the wings on Hermes' staff.
Oh.
Hermes, herpes, whatever.
Okay, that was not where I expected that to
If
go.
we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere.
In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it.
Correct.
Probably.
I guess we can't get on then. Let's just disregard the elevators for now.
How about this hallway on the left?
A large hallway.
Oh, there's so many doors.
They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging.
Damn it. If we try and search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we've done half of them.
I think the sun already set.
I have a feeling this ship is the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon.
Pretty much. There is one little kind of like open
That's
area though.
even worse.
Well, we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we?
Time to head back to the stairs.
To the right was a small hallway.
Now the right hallway.
Quickly they headed into it. Oh, this is more open then. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led toward the stern, and at its end was a set of double doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right, let's start with this one.
Locked. Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
It isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. Oh god, what are we gonna find? Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
What?
Oh, there's more numbered doors. It's like an infirmary. 3, 7, and 8. Oh man. He simply stood, unable to speak. The others simply stared, open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak.
What the hell is this? This place is huge.
A massive room stretched out in front of them, more like a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the 4 companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
They're like hospital beds. They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
Is this a hospital?
Yeah, that's what I thought. He had at last been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room.
It definitely has the smell.
Could be.
Oh
I see
god.
medicine cabinets and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end.
Yeah? 3 doors that are numbered and 1 that isn't. 3 of them emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with a thick red paint.
The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7.
And the last has an
And
8.
the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Why is the second door blank?
Maybe there's a way to get back through there or something. Or maybe it just doesn't open until later.
That seems kind of strange, don't you think?
No point worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
Junpei headed towards the doors, weaving his way between the beds. He started with door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8. No, the numbered ones aren't going to open. The blank one didn't open.
Oh, it's no use.
Well, of course. If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the Nonary game?
Pretty much.
We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't... Wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Oh.
Don't you remember? The red at the central staircase?
Yeah, it had a vacant
If no
on
one was
it.
inside, it said vacant.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But this one,
There's nothing on it.
Is it broken?
right?
I wonder if it's broken.
Only one way to find out.
Nothing.
It's not responding.
Broken. So we gotta fix it then. Okay, fun. All 4 took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't the only red for door 8 that was behaving strangely.
How about the red on door 7?
They're all broken,
And
aren't
door
they?
3?
They're
None
all
of them
broken.
are working.
What does it mean?
I knew it. They're broken.
We gotta fix it.
Zero sure sucks at maintenance.
Yeah, this is pretty odd, but obviously it has to have been planned.
No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake?
No, there's a reason why they're broken.
Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working.
It was at that moment that they heard a voice from behind them.
I believe the bottom of the device has been removed.
Oh, hey, it's the other group. They spun around to see,
Snake!
but it was more than just Snake. Hey, Ace. Clover,
Ace,
7.
Clover, 7!
Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in the front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised.
How did you end up here?
Well, all the rooms link up. You guys don't know because you probably don't have a map.
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
Yep. After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of a smile, almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The ninth man had died, but they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Living is fun.
There you have it. Our half of the story.
His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent in thought, then he spoke.
Okay, let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone.
Okay, so we're missing bases for the Reds.
And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything.
So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors.
Mm-hmm.
So you went and had a look?
Okay.
Yeah.
And while you were looking around, you heard voices.
Uh-huh.
That was probably us.
So you followed the voices and came back here.
Indeed. And that was how we found you.
Why don't we check those 3 Reds again, just in case?
You're right. Huh.
Yeah, the
There's
bottom
a
part
long,
is missing.
thin gap on the bottom. I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anywhere else we can go?
There's got to be either somewhere we can go or some way to fix the machine.
No, there isn't.
Crap.
There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
Hospital rooms. That's what's behind all those doors?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
Damn.
There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however.
Okay.
I was able to get a good feel of it. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter.
Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere.
Have we seen the Jupiter symbol? I don't remember.
I wonder what they all mean.
For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room?
It's really creepy.
I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting to think about. Definitely not a replica of the Titanic if this is a room. Of all people, it was Seven who answered, and with calm confidence.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
The Gigantic?
The Gigantic?
Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else.
What is this Gigantic?
Seven knit his brows for a moment, then began to explain.
The Gigantic.
Okay.
She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century.
Oh!
Actually, the Titanic had 2 sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship.
Alright.
At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea.
Crap.
She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gordain bought her.
Lord Gordain?
Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic.
Okay, so this feels a bit like a red herring sort of thing. It feels like it's trying to set this Lord Gordain up as Zero, which I don't buy. I know Spike Chunsoft visual novels, they wouldn't do that.
Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself, which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, that's a disappointment and a half.
But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gordain bought this ship?
If this is the Gigantic, then yes.
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
Yeah, it's got electricity and shit.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic?
Nope.
Well,
I don't think he does.
this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured.
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
I guess it is.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing This is really suspicious. Why is he, like hesitating? He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Oh. Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Huh?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. Memory isn't back?
This is the first I've heard of this. Junpei he felt legitimately shocked by what seemed by a new and very important piece of information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange. Did we miss?
Yeah.
We missed something totally.
Your point being?
He decided to revise his attitude for the next question.
Wait, was I the only one that didn't know?
Everyone nodded.
Why?
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs.
Ah.
I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up.
What?
So he's an amnesiac then. Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment. Oh. Oh no, we're running out of time. Oh no.
A bell.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Junpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12. 12.
Midnight, 6 hours left.
It's midnight. Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
I don't know, we don't, no one's given any information as to how we can find them.
We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, not just one.
That is not the line that is wrote down there.
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
I guess we do. Oh Christ, someone save me.
Don't freak out. We've already searched 4 of them.
4 rooms?
We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms?
How do they know that? Her earlier experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. Seven scratched his head awkwardly.
Maybe?
Oh, for God's sake. Seven! Have some conviction, man!
Alright, so everyone knows which area they're searching?
Yeah.
Yes!
Let's go then. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft.
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah. Sounds straightforward enough.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right. Then let's do this.
Let's go. The details decided and left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However... Huh? What's going on? From far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. Okay, so this is basically just a passing of time. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m.
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
Something's happened. Something's got to have happened. He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there.
Huh?
Ace, Santa, June, Okay, so Snake's the one that's missing. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, 7, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of the door number 8. Or perhaps, to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to door number 8.
What are they doing over there?
Maybe someone found the item for the red? Had one of them found the missing piece?
What happened, guys?
It was June who answered him.
Jumpy, look!
She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. It's on. Immediately, he knew what she had meant.
Vacant.
Junpei sighed.
Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Well...
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut.
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. This is getting to be a bit of a theme here. Come on, guys, talk to me. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
Oh.
You don't know?
When I got back, it was already like this.
Well, Snake's not here. Couldn't Snake have just done it?
There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
Crap.
What? Let me see.
Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered with metal.
You're right. It's in there. What about the other two?
They're the same.
Let me take a look.
Junpei quickly examined the other two boxes. Damn.
It's just as you said.
Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others.
Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right?
I guess not.
Correct.
None.
Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hands as if to say not me, and Santa just shrugged. Clover? Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing.
Huh. Wait a minute.
That was when he noticed, yeah, Snake's missing. Where's Snake?
Where's Snake?
Junpei swept his eyes across the room for a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen.
Does that mean that he found them?
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either.
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
I don't know, but I don't think things are gonna be as well as they've been planned. That was an awful sentence, but basically, I don't feel good about Snake right now. He's not here. He's pretty damn late. If I've learned anything from Danganronpa, if you are late to a group meeting, you are probably dead.
Maybe he's lost.
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place.
Clover raised her head.
No! That's impossible!
Oh. Suddenly she was shouting.
Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see.
Oh my god, I can really hear the Akane Owari voice coming through there. Oh god, Clover, it's okay.
So he couldn't get lost. That's impossible.
Oh god. Siblings, oh, if he is like dead or missing or what, oh god, I hope she's alright, oh no. Clover had started to shake and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. Oh fuck, someone hug her. Hug her right now. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes.
I'm gonna go look for him.
The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run.
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait!
Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. Let her search for her brother, man. Yeah, and then she was gone.
Well, that didn't work. Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now.
No! We're not leaving two people behind! We should go look for them!
Oh man, this ain't good.
It really isn't.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
Aren't you an asshole, Santa?
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left.
Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. By the way, we've only 5 hours left. I'm sorry, but usually, like, most normal people would be like, we've got 5 hours left. I don't think anyone would really say we've only. Like, that's so stilted in terms of dialogue. Like, ugh. Not casual enough. In front of the stairs that led to B deck, they decided to split up.
Let's split up.
All right, I'll take this direction.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
See you all later.
Alright, soon only two of them were left. Those two were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others.
Alright, we should go too.
Yes, let's go! But where should we start?
Let's see.
We have a choice. The casino, the first class cabin, the hallway with all the rooms, or back to the large hospital room. Let's take a look at the casino.
How about the casino on B deck?
Okay, let's go, Jumpy.
Let's go. They took off up the stairs at a run. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. Is that a reference to the Lotus Casino from Percy Jackson? That's funny. It's probably not. That's what I find it funny that Lotus is the one at the casino. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
A proposal? I'm gonna listen.
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
What?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Junpei's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8.
Right, digital roots.
Our digital root would be 1.
5 plus 6 plus 8 plus equals 19. 1 plus 9. Yeah, 10, 1.
But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
So we'd need 2. Wait, no. We'd have to bring in someone else to the group. Maybe Santa? Wait, no, because then we'd have the same digital root from before. It would have to be 7 or Ace.
Then we add another person.
Huh?
Who?
What, isn't that easy? 7.
Oh, if we add 7, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 20.
8, we can go for the 8 door.
26, 2 plus 6 equals 8.
Then the 4 of them could go through the number 8 door. But...
Wait a minute. What about the other 4?
Yeah.
Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
Well, why don't you add them up?
That was simple
1
enough.
plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10.
Oh, they'd be trapped.
And 1 plus 0 equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
They'd be
That's
trapped.
right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Lotus being a shady bitch. Here we go.
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we?
See, here's the problem with that. The way off the ship is the number 9 door. In any case, we'd have to leave someone behind further along.
Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left.
We wouldn't have the time.
Even if we managed to escape, there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship.
Because of the 9 door.
The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but
Yeah, I've heard this. Heard it.
Yeah, that's right. The digital root for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
And we wouldn't be able to get through the 8 door in the first place.
That's right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
Lotus scratched the back of her ear.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Basically, it's in our best interests to keep everybody alive till the 9 door. That way we can just sort of backstab someone there.
Unfortunate. That's all you have to say?
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said. Nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A
Alright.
way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious?
Only 5 people can escape through the 9 door.
And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors, right? The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Huh?
It's true.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine.
Oh, wait just a second. You're skipping over a really big detail.
What? Yes, what she said was true, but how Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond him.
Is that really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. Are you okay with that?
You have to be okay with that, unless you want to sacrifice yourself for these people you don't know.
That's just...
Lotus's forehead
You
furrowed.
think I could have a moment alone?
Yeah,
There are
sure.
some things I need to think about.
Fine. Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
No, it really didn't.
Yeah.
Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism would get them nowhere.
Well, regardless,
So he forced himself to smile and turned to June.
let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah,
Junpei nodded.
all right. Where should we go next?
I guess first class cabin?
Let's go take a look at the first class cabin. It's really close.
They turned around and took off down the hallway to their left. Outside of the first class cabin, they found Clover. She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point on the wall, her eyes blank. Oh, fuck me. She's losing it. What should Junpei do? Talk to
Are you
her.
alright?
He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond.
Look, I know you're really worried, but...
He could think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to, and also thinking about it, her and her brother are going to be a package deal when they reach number 9. Unless Snake would, like, sacrifice himself for her, which he probably would. He seems like the self-sacrificial type.
Alone.
Her voice was thin and barely audible.
Alone.
Oh no, alone!
I said leave me alone!
Oh, okay, okay, bitch. Suddenly she was screaming.
You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off!
Okay,
Go
okay.
away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Okay. Junpei was taken aback.
Oh,
Such anger and hate. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Did you hear me? Huh? Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
alright. Let's go, June.
Yeah.
Christ. They turned and left Clover. I was not expecting that. As they did, Junpei glanced back over her shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Damn, she fucking flipped. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake.
He did his best to push away the misery and depression and forced a smile.
So, where do you think we should go next?
Well, we've been to the casino. The hallway with all the large rooms, maybe?
Why don't we go back to C-Deck? We can take a look at that hallway with all the rooms.
Okay, let's get going then.
Together, they ran down the stairs.
Oh, it's Ace.
Ahead of them, further down the hallway, they spotted Ace.
Hey, Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
What should Junpei do? Run to Ace.
Let's go.
With June in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... well, that's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not here.
I assume you haven't found him yet?
Nope.
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can. For Clover's sake.
Yeah, Clover might go fucking insane otherwise.
Right.
June's face looked kind of
By
enraptured.
the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
That's actually a good point.
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? The question seems somehow odd to Junpei.
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't.
Now that you mention it,
Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare.
Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was. But he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke.
At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible.
That's true.
The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we?
Bye then.
You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Jumpy.
At June's urging, they left. They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil.
Something about that was... I'll think on it later. Like Ace said, finding Snake is our top priority.
Junpei did his best to clear his mind.
Alright, where should we go next?
Well, we've been to the casino, we've been to the cabin. I guessed the hospital
Why don't we
room.
go back to the big hospital room?
Okay, let's go then.
They turned and headed back towards the large hospital room. It's the only place we haven't been yet.
Wait, that's
Santa. On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door.
Santa?
Junpei paused. What should Junpei do? Talk to him. Junpei and June walked up to Santa.
What are you doing?
What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
What do you mean?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
I mean, we do want to know who put it back in there, but obviously we can't really tell just by looking at it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but...
Who do you think did it?
I don't know. Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for?
Snake, Lotus, Zero, someone other than the 8 of them. At the moment, all I can really think of maybe is Snake. I don't think it was Zero, because I think there's something different going on here. I'm not sure what. It's definitely not Lotus. Like, she's shifty, but I think there is something about her that I don't think she'd be the kind of person to just fix these and not say anything. And there's no proof to suggest that someone other than the 8 of us are on the ship, so I'm gonna go with Snake.
Well, it seems like it would have to be Snake, wouldn't it? Maybe he got back here before any of us. He found the parts somewhere, put them back, and then went through one of the numbered doors.
He can't go through one of the numbered doors, Junpei. There was only one of him.
No, that's not possible. You have to authenticate with at least 3 people, or the red won't open the door. There's no way a single person could get through there by themselves.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Unless somebody helped authenticate him and then got rid of him. It was a stupid mistake and Junpei knew it. How had he made such a foolish miscalculation? And how had Santa noticed it so quickly? Perhaps he just wasn't as clever as he used to be? Junpei shook his head sadly.
So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red.
We had to have been. Santa grinned.
Bingo! We have a winner.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Obviously. Because if you know how to fix the red, then you know how to work the red, and that would put you in prime candidate for mastermind territory.
Yeah.
But why?
No idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding.
So somebody isn't being honest with us. Lotus has been shifty the whole time, Clover's gone slightly insane, Seven's got amnesia and we haven't seen him throughout this entire exploration. Santa seems to be trying to play detective, but I don't know if I trust him. And Ace, Junpei was having a slight feeling about him, but I'm not too sure.
Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
It could.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah.
Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first he'd assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet.
Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose.
That's fair enough.
You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
Are you trying to tell me that June's gonna stab me in the back? Because that is the most unsubtle foreshadowing ever in a game. With that depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away.
And that's that, I guess.
Junpei and June looked at each other and smiled awkwardly. Yeah, where should they go next? We've searched everywhere, let's just finish searching. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found. Well?
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched.
Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke.
We can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point to wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
True.
Yes, I have a proposal.
She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
What?
Sacrifice?
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yeah, you've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors.
Shit.
If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Oh, fuck. Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3? Okay, let me think. It's probably something to do with the digital route just don't work. We kind of worked this out with Lotus earlier. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say not sure because I'm not 100%. Junpei wasn't quite sure that was true.
Wait a minute. 2 people get left behind if we split into 5 and 2.
Yeah.
And 1 person is left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1. I got that part. You can't go through the numbered doors with any less than 3 people. But if we split into 4 and 3, then why do 3 people have to be left behind?
Yeah, please explain.
Just run the numbers. Let's say we go through door 7 with 1, 4, 5, 6. Who's left over?
That would be 3, 7, 8.
Yep.
What's the digital route for that?
3 plus 7 plus 8 is 18.
9.
Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 3, 7, 8 won't be going anywhere.
Okay.
That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same.
3 people left
It
behind.
doesn't matter which 4 it is. The 3 that are left over can't go through any of the doors.
I wonder if this is why Snake disappeared, so that we'd be forced to make this choice.
Go ahead and calculate it if you have the time. Anyway, that's how it is. Now, if we can get back to my proposal, we only have to sacrifice 1 person if we split into 3, 3, and 1.
When Seven spoke, his voice was strained.
Then you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind.
Shit.
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution.
Yeah. I don't like it, but I agree. It is the best solution.
The other 6 are to survive. Then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves.
No, that's too cruel.
But there's no other choice, June. Stop being morally naive.
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just...
That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone.
I told you, that's impossible.
It really is by the numbers.
Wake up.
Whoa, calm down, you two.
Time to step between Lotus and June.
Look, what Lotus is trying to say is, you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote.
Shit.
What do you think?
No, that's terrible.
They're gonna vote June.
I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
This is gonna destroy the goddamn bloody group.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7.
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice.
Exactly.
If we do something, we're all gonna die.
Oh, glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover?
She won't say anything. Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she'd even heard Lotus's proposal.
Hey, Clover.
Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder.
Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors.
That's impossible. He would have blown up.
We've searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow?
But if he'd gone through one of them, he wouldn't be able to identify the dead. Clover slowly lifted her face.
Let's go look for him together, okay?
Oh, what a bitch. I'm sorry, Lotus. Okay, that is not tactful.
If we sacrifice 1 person, then we can go look for him.
Unless we sacrifice Clover.
You agree with me, right?
Okay.
Clover nodded once.
The motion carries.
What a bitch. Damn. Lotus spun around and walked toward Junpei.
Now, let's start a vote to...
That won't be necessary.
Oh. Ace had barely spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice or even
I
care.
will stay. That should solve our problem, yes?
Oh, okay.
Ace, what are you saying?
He says he's gonna stay.
No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
I mean, it will. June's voice shook and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Oh.
Huh?
I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them...
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
Oh, we've already had this conversation. June, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything.
What? Please, I beg you. Once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time.
Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer.
We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me?
No.
Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind?
Ace's voice was dignified and without a hint of cruelty or malice. Junpei had no rebuttal.
You see, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion.
Alright,
Go
well,
on.
Ace, have fun.
Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. Nobody likes this. June bit her lip so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus' attitude, however, was different from the others.
Good. Let's accept his kind offer then.
She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. It may be my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds. He's just gonna take a little sit down? Alright. Oh, that creaking. Oh. From somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship was screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, D-Deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
Yeah, I agree. As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa?
Sorry, June.
I have to find my brother.
Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this.
There's nothing to think about, June. I respect that she's obviously trying to be the voice of reason here, and if I could take her side, I would, but it's literally impossible.
There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be.
It's impossible.
Right, Jumpy? Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
His words sounded hollow and fake.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
She spun around and ran toward Ace. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Ace! Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
I don't think we will. Then it happened. What? Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened? Ace, say something.
She shook him frantically. Fuck, is he dead? His eyes fluttered open.
I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you all right?
What's he done? He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand.
A syringe?
Oh, for fuck's sake, he's just drugged himself. It was in a syringe, a small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied, a few drops clung to the sides. Yep, he's just put something in him to help him sleep. Oh no. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read, Soporil Beta. Soporil Beta?
Soporil Beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
He's doing this to make sure that we move on.
Anesthetic.
I found it earlier, while we were searching the hospital rooms. I thought it might be useful later.
Ah.
I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Shit.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am. Very tired.
Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with the anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He'd injected himself so that they'd be forced to leave him behind.
Ace.
Is there something you want to say? I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
No, don't, Ace. Don't fall asleep.
You feel warm. So comfortable.
Oh no.
I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying.
Ace! Ace!
She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. He's knocked out cold, okay. He's alive at least, he's just breathing. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told them he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was, in fact, still breathing.
Let's get him up on a bed.
He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
Yeah.
You say something?
No, nothing.
It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly Santa spoke.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Gotta pick a door.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Ah, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8.
Okay.
It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
Fair enough.
What? What did you just say?
His face, a face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. 7, run, please, run, quick. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with hand in the cookie jar.
Me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off.
Alright, who's next?
Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei.
Junpei, which door do you want?
At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. Do I want to go with Lotus? Do I want to go with 7? Or do I want to go into a door all of my own? I think I'm going to stick with Lotus for now. I'd like to see where her story goes.
I think I'm gonna go with door 8.
Not to mention, we can go back through the visual novel with the new flowchart, so when we get to endings, we can actually go back and re-choose these choices, so it's gonna be fine.
Okay, 8 it is.
Yeah.
Alright then, that means June's gotta go through 7.
Oh
What?
shit.
Why?
What?
Santa grimaced and muttered angrily to himself, but finally began to explain.
The 6 of us are gonna keep going without leaving anyone behind? There are only 3 ways we can do it.
Plan A.
3, 5, and 8 go through 7, and 4, 6, and 7 go through 8.
Plan B.
4, 5, and 7 go through 7, and 3, 6, and 8 go through 8.
Okay. Plan C.
4, 3, 6, and 7 go through 7, and 4, 5, and 8 get 8.
Oh, we can't be paired with June no matter what.
There are no other combinations. In other words, 3 and 4, and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors.
Neither can 5 and 6.
You get it now?
Or was I just mucking up some things? As Santa finished, June looked over at Junpei, tears welling up in the corners of her eyes.
Oh no. You're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for a long time.
Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. But he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June, who was scared to lose her, but He swallowed, steeled his resolve, and did his best to smile.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
She didn't sound very hopeful. Check the map. It was 7 that interjected.
I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
The first 2 did.
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9.
True.
In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, laid his hand gently on her shoulder.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
I swear to God, if she ends up dead. June bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible nod.
Yes. Promise?
Her voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered the moment.
You guys are done, right?
Asshole. He stretched and continued.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 7 and Clover can take 8.
Alright, I'm going with Clover and Lotus then.
Any problems with that, Clover?
Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
Oh. It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care.
Alright, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
Alright. As Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. Santa, 7, and June walked toward door 7, while Clover, Lotus, and Junpei headed for door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of their door, and it is going to be an even longer moment because this is where we will be ending this episode. If you're enjoying 999 so far, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on VidMe, don't forget to upvote. And in the next episode, we're going to go through door 8 with Clover and Lotus and see what we find behind this crazy door. Will we find Snake? Will we discover the truth about the Nonary game? We'll find out next time. See you guys next time. Goodbye.